Right now, literally as you're watching this, someone is booking an Airbnb for July. The average guest books their summer stays 69 days in advance. Good number, right? That means April or May are the months that determine whether you have a packed summer or an empty calendar. And most hosts, they won't touch the listing until June. By then, it's already over. The guests have already booked. The money's already been allocated. And it went to your competitor down the road earlier. Today, I'm going to walk you through exactly how I prepare my listings for the summer wave. Pricing, photos, operations, all of it, so that you can capture every single pound that's available to you. Let's get into it. Now, here's something most new hosts don't understand. The summer doesn't start in the summer. It starts right now. The data tells us that the average booking lead time for a July stay is 69 days. Count back from the 1st of July, and that puts you squarely in middle to late April. That's this week. Guests are searching right now. They're comparing listings right now, and they're making decisions right now. And here's the thing that gets me. UK Airbnb occupancy sits at around 63% nationally. London does better, roughly like 74%. But that means over a third of nights across the country are going unbooked. A third! In a market where the average UK Airbnb brings in about £31,000 a year. London properties are closer to like 42,000. Those empty nights are not just inconvenient, that's expensive. Now, some of those empty nights are unavoidable, like maintenance, personal use, like whatever, right? But a significant chunk of them come down to one thing. The host wasn't ready when the guest was looking. The listing wasn't optimized. The pricing was wrong. The photos were outdated, and the guest just scrolled right past it. Summer is literally your highest revenue window. July is typically the single biggest revenue month for UK Airbnb hosts. We're talking 25 to 40% extra over the off-season. But you only capture that increase if your listing is in the position to convert when the guests are actively searching, which is right now. So let's talk about what being ready actually looks like. Starting with your listing itself. First, your photos. Like, this is the single biggest lever that you have. And it's one, most people just ignore this. I don't get it. Like, when someone is scrolling through 40 or 50 listings in your area, they're making a decision in less than 2 seconds based on your cover photo. It's a smart idea, like 2 seconds. So here's what I do before every summer season. I go back through my listing photos and I ask one question. Do these photos show the experience that a summer guest is looking for? Like, if you've got a garden, a patio, a balcony, those need to be front and center in your summer photos. Like, if you've got natural light just pouring through the windows, shoot the photos at that time of the day. If you've added anything new since your last updated your listings, a new sofa, fresh bedding, a coffee machine, reshoot and include them. Like, your photos should reflect the current state of your property at its absolute best. And I'll be specific here. Your cover photo should be the widest, the brightest, and the most inviting shot of your main living space or your best outdoor area. Like, not the bedroom, not the bathroom. No one cares about that, right? The space where a guest imagines themselves relaxing. That's what stops the scroll. Next, your title. You got 50 characters to work with on Airbnb, and most people just waste them. Like, I see titles like lovely 2-bed flat in London. That tells me nothing. That could be any of the 10,000 listings. What works better is specificity. So instead of lovely 2-bed flat, try something like bright 2-bed with rooftop terrace, 5 minutes to tube. You've just told me the vibe. You've told me about a standout feature, and you've told me about the location. All in one line. I'm interested. Like, be specific about what makes your property different. Now, your description. Most guests don't read the full description, but Airbnb's search algorithm does. So your first paragraph needs to be keyword rich. Mention your area, nearby attractions, transport links, and the types of guests that your properties are due for. Perfect for families visiting London this summer. Like, that kind of language, like, it helps with search rankings, and it helps the right guest self-select. Amenities. Like, go through your amenities list and make sure everything is ticked. I mean, everything. Wi-Fi, iron, hairdryer, kitchen equipment, air conditioning. If you have it, obviously. Now, in the summer, air conditioning or fans become a genuine booking factor. So if you've got it, make sure it's listed and mentioned in your description. And if you haven't got it, like, honestly, consider investing in a decent portable unit. Like, in a heat wave, the listings with cooling actually get booked first, obviously. And one more thing on listing optimization. Go read your last 10 reviews. What do guests consistently praise? Whatever it is, put it in your description. If 5 guests have said the bed was incredibly comfortable, then your description should say that. It should say, our guests love the premium king-size bed. You're now using social proof in your listing. It's not bragging, it's smart positioning. All right, so pricing. And this is where most hosts either leave money on the table or they price themselves out of the market entirely. Both are costly mistakes. So let's start with the baseline. Summer rates in the UK typically run 25 to 40% higher than off-season. That's literally not me being optimistic. That is market data. Guys, summer is good. Like if your off-season nightly rate is, let's say, £100, your summer rate should be somewhere between 125 and 140, depending on your area and your competition. But here's where I see hosts go wrong. They set one flat rate for the entire summer and just leave it. That is lazy and it costs you money. Here's what I do instead. Number one, I use dynamic pricing. So whether that's through a tool like Price Labs, which is what we use, or Wheelhouse, or Beyond Pricing, or whether you're just adjusting it manually, your rates should reflect based on demand. Weekends should be higher than weekdays. Bank holidays and local events should be higher again. A Friday to Sunday stay in central London during July should not be the same price as a Tuesday night in November. Obviously. Number two, minimum stays. So in the summer, I typically keep my minimum stay to 2 or 3 nights anyway. And here's why. A 1-night booking costs you as much in cleaning and turnover as a 3-night booking, but you've literally earned a third of the revenue. Like by setting a 2 or 3 night minimum, you reduce your turnover costs, you reduce wear and tear on the property, and you attract guests who are actually staying for a purpose, right? Like holiday, events, like whatever it is, they're there for something. And those guests tend to be better guests, by the way. Third, and this is one people miss, weekly discounts. If you offer a 10 to 15% weekly discount, you're going to attract longer stays. A 7-night booking at a 10% discount is still going to make you more money than 5 separate 1-night bookings, especially when you factor in cleaning costs and the gaps between those reservations. Now, I'd rather have 1 guest for a whole week than 4 guests for 2 nights each. Like, give me that any time of the day. Now, fourth, last minute pricing. Not every night will get booked in advance. So for dates within the next 7 to 14 days, that are still open, I'll drop the price by 10 to 15%. An occupied night at a slight discount is way better than an empty night at a full price, all day, every day. And then fifth, don't forget to check your competition. Like, search your area on Airbnb like you were a guest. Come on, simple stuff. Like, filter for your dates, your property type, your guest count. See what comes up. Like, see what other people are charging. You don't need to be the cheapest, but you need to understand where you sit in that market. Like, think about this. If similar properties are charging £150 and you're charging 180 and you got fewer reviews, you've got a problem. But if they're charging £150 and you're charging £120 with better photos and more reviews, you're leaving money on the table. Like, you got to price with intention. Like, that's the principle here. Now, let's talk about the bit no one finds exciting, but everyone needs to hear: operations. Because you can have the best listing and the best pricing in the world, but if the guest experience falls apart, none of that matters. You're gonna get a bad review, and then your ranking starts to drop, and then your next 10 bookings that you were meant to get disappear. So here's my pre-summer operations checklist. I go through this every single year, and it's non-negotiable. Number one, deep clean. Like, not your regular just turnover clean, a proper deep clean. I'm talking oven, behind the furniture, inside the cupboards, windows, grout, everything. Summer guests notice everything because there's more natural light. Stains and dust that were invincible in January are fully visible in July. So get it done now before your first summer guest arrives. Number two, maintenance check. Walk through every single property and look for anything that could become a problem mid-season. Dripping taps, dodgy locks, slow drains, wobbly furniture. Fix it all now. And the last thing you want is a maintenance emergency during your busiest month with back-to-back bookings and no gap to get a tradesperson in. Number three, just refresh those small little things. New towels, if your current ones are looking tired. Fresh pillows, a new doormat. Like, this costs very little, but they make a huge difference to how the property feels. Like, when the guest walks in and everything feels crisp and fresh, that's a 5-star review that's waiting to happen. Number four, guest experience upgrades. Like, summer specific ones. Put a fan in every room. Stock the freezer with ice cube trays. Leave a guide to local parks, like markets, outdoor dining spots, things that people are going to want to do. If you're near a beach or a countryside, put together together like a small summer pack, sunscreen, a local map, maybe a little a cool bag, that they can borrow. It costs you a few quid, but it creates a moment. And guests remember moments. Number 5, and this is the big one, reviews. Your ranking on Airbnb is heavily influenced by your review count and your average rating. Like between now and July, every single booking you get is an opportunity to build your review score before the summer rush. Here's what I do. After every single checkout, I just send a genuine, personalized thank you message. It's simple to do, guys. Something like, really glad you enjoyed the rooftop terrace. Like, it's one of my favorite features too. If you've got a moment, literally something like that. If you've got a moment, a review would mean a lot to us, right? It's not pushy, it's human, and it works. That's how a human will talk. But every 5-star review that you collect between now and July pushes your listing higher and higher in the search results, which means more visibility, which means more bookings, which means more revenue. It compounds. Start now. And the last piece of operational prep, your messaging templates. Like, update your check-in instructions, your house rules, your local guide. Make sure everything is current. If there's construction near your property, mention it. If there's a new restaurant that's brilliant, add it. These details show the guests that the host is attentive and active. That builds trust before they even arrive. Look, the summer window's open right now. Guests are searching, comparing, and booking. The question is whether they're booking your property or someone else's. If you're serious about building a profitable Airbnb business, not just having a listing, but actually running this properly, then I want to help you do that. I've put together the Landlord Partnership Blueprint to give you the exact framework, strategies, and systems that I use across my own portfolio. No theory, no fluff, just what actually works. And the link to join is in the description below. Click it, have a look, and if it's right for you, I'll see you on the inside. But here's the thing, whatever you do, do not wait until June. The summer is won in April.